going? Jeff here at Deep Cycle Battery San Diego. Was approached by this company to take a look at their 48 volt lithium iron phosphate battery rated at 100 amp hours. I apologize, I cannot pronounce the name. If you can, you let me know. And just got it in the shop today, and what they sent me was a standard 48 volt 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. Going through the manual, I noticed that it, well, first of all, it does weigh about 100 pounds and it has a max discharge current of 100 amps. It's got the M8 terminals and it's got the ABS plastic IP66 rating. It looks very similar to the Dakota battery that we've done a video on in the past, and it's going to go into this Yamaha 48 volt Yamaha that's got 6 8-volt flooded lead acid batteries. So I thought we would put this in there, and just so you know, the battery was shipped to me without a charger and without any kind of battery state of charge meter, which is always the Achilles heel and the weak spot for all these batteries that don't come as a kit, because that means you and I are going to have to go into Amazon and find some other aftermarket state of charge meter. And what I have found is a Hall sensor on Amazon that I will show you how we cut that in there to see what our battery state of charge is. And then I'm also going to have to find or actually I did, but I'm going to find a 15 amp 48 volt lithium iron phosphate charger to charge this battery up and put that charger on board. We don't want to use the old lead acid charger for this lithium battery. As always, when I start doing a tear down of lead acid batteries, I always throw the, if the cart has a run tow switch, engage that into tow. And then what I do is I break the series just to reduce the voltage and then start taking the cables off. You do want to take pictures and document everything that's going so that you can repurpose the stuff. Specifically when you see a 48 to 12 volt DC-DC converter, which is right there, you're gonna find the wires, and this wire is red, so be careful because it is attached to a, oh, it's actually right, it's attached to a positive cable. So that's going into the DC-DC to give the golf cart headlights. And then the other cable is also red, and that one is attached to a negative terminal. Yep, negative. Anyway, so we will mark this one as, we'll put some black tape on there so we know, we can remember that this is actually the negative cable. Worst case, if we got confused, you can go to the back of the DC-DC converter. They usually have a little legend telling you the 12 volt and the 48 volt polarity. So the battery weighs 100 pounds and I got all the lead acid batteries out, and so we can lay it flat in the tray. You know, I've always had a challenge with these ABS plastic cases. I dig it that they're traditional battery material. There's no feet or any kind of bracketry to make these batteries sit securely in the golf cart. So what we end up having to do, or what you're gonna have to do, is get some kind of creative with either a crossover bar with some studs as a clamp on top. I've seen people, and I've done it, take some zip ties and secure the rope handles to the tray down there is probably what we're gonna do. Okay, so I was telling you that I got the 100 amp BMS lithium iron phosphate battery by this company set in place, and they don't send a charger, they don't send a battery monitor, state of charge meter. So I went on Amazon and bought the eco-worthy Hall sensor that's using a DC amp clamp device to report state of charge. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to find a charger, which I do have, fully charge the battery, install the SOC meter and calibrate it for 100%. And then I'll find a place on the dash for this display to mount. Actually, it's kind of a cool little deal, and we'll show you how that works. So we were able to use a couple long zip ties to hold the battery in there, and I just made some loops here because I'm thinking the battery's going to loosen up and we're going to go back and tighten it again. and you can see that I have the Hall effect sensor installed here with the positive cables running through it, and that reports with a telemetry cable to this display here. And the Hall sensor is pretty cool. It's got a good picture profile. After the battery is fully charged, which it is not right now, we're still charging. When the battery is fully charged, then we can go in here and calibrate this and tell that the battery's 100%. And then it'll give us some data as far as the watts of demand, amps that we're drawing, and etc. And the battery's voltage as well too. So we're charging right now and the battery's at 54 volts. Anyway, so the next thing we're gonna have to do with this battery, because these guys did send it to me. I did not buy this battery and they're not paying me, but I do wanna drive it with this cart and see how many amps we can pull out of it and give you guys a report.